All right, next up, we've got our two more objects that we want to look at. We're going to do our bamboo right here, and we're going to work on this base piece right in here. So let's get started. Let's select on our bamboo, and let's go ahead and assign our material to it so we can see what it's looking like. And I'm going to go ahead and select on the base piece as well. Let's assign the material to that. All right, so we'll start with our bamboo, make a selection of it, go into our UV edit mode. And in the UV edit mode, we can see we've got a couple of pieces. They look really good. They've already got everything stretched out just right for us because we made the cuts and we didn't extrude out, but we made cuts into it, so it shows it really well for us. So our best bet is to go ahead and go in. Let's just select on this guy and scale him to fit. Let's drag this guy over here. Let's zoom in on that. We actually look pretty close right in here. I'm going to go ahead and move these guys together. This is our top and bottom of our bamboo. I think we can go ahead and safely say that they're going to go right about right in here. And we can just scale that down and scale that over. And let's see if we can see that little piece on the top. That'll look pretty good. Yeah, that looks nice right in there. We get a nice little bamboo top with a little hole in it. Alright, so if we take a look at this guy, we've got a nice piece of texture right in here, good real estate to work with. What we do have is we've got we've got 3 different rings in here. So if you were going to want to make some extra bamboo, it's got a tileable piece in there. What we want to do is just kind of work at the center point on these little guys right in here. So this gets us close. I'm going to go into my UV mode, and then that'll let me go in and select a little bit closer and move these pieces around. So I'm going to get this guy right in the center of that dark area. Let's take a closer look at it, see how it's coming out. It puts us right there in the middle. That looks good. Let's go over to here, and it looks like we need to move this guy up just a little bit. There we go. And we could even move this guy down just a little bit. There we go. And we're nice right in here. We're actually just right there in the little highlight. That'll work good. We can put this one right there on that highlight as well. It'll give us a nice transition from this piece over. There we go. Nice. It's not too much effort. We get a nice looking piece of bamboo right there. Alright, so let's go ahead and select on our next piece. This is our big sandy piece that we sit on. And let's go ahead and select our top and bottom. We know these two guys are going to definitely go right in here. So we'll just move them in position. And we're looking at trying to take up as much of that texture space as possible, but without going over, because we don't want to have any kind of seams or spotting because of the alpha somewhere in there. And this, again, we've got some pieces that are pretty much pre-done for us with those automatic unwraps. So enjoy them while they last, because definitely the more complex the shapes become, then the more complex the UV maps also become. But for right now, this is a great way to start with your unwraps, and we're just going to do the same thing here, because if we look at this, let's take a peek down here to get a sense for it. We see that's a little bit too stretched. We want it just a little bit less. I'm going to do the same thing we did before. I'm just going to go in there, take it, stretch it all the way through. You can see that we've just taken it all the way through. We're just going to line it all the way over to here. There we go. I'll drag it back to the middle. It makes it a little bit easier when we're scaling it back out. Alright, we can zoom out on that one. And there we go. We're looking pretty good with that. We've got a nice little piece going around it. We got a nice bamboo right in there. And the last thing we need to do with it is just make some copies. We'll go back to our object mode, copy this guy, because he's definitely going to need a friend over here. Let's just make a copy and put him over there. And then we also need a copy of this guy because he's going to have to make his way across the two of those. So to do that, let's go ahead and see if we can't bring this out just a little bit so we can see him better. Let's go ahead and cut the top and the bottom off of him. So I'm just going to go into face mode, select, delete, and then back into my object mode, and we just want to rotate this guy nice and flat to begin with. Let's see if we can get a good top view over here. Here we go. And then let's give this a little bit of a bend. We want a little bend. We could use the bend, or we could go in, have some fun, and just modify some of the geometry a little bit. We can just go in there and actually get our hands dirty with it. So let's say we tweak that a little, and we'll bend this over a little bit. We can warp this guy over a little. The nice thing is you want to get as comfortable and confident as you can with just grabbing geometry and working with it, because that is the control point. When you have control of that, then you really can get in there and make it do what you want it to do and shape it the way you want it to be shaped. Alright, I think we're looking pretty good with that. Let's see if we can get that into position. We'll just turn on our wireframe, and you can see right in here, zoom in a little bit right in there, we got our post and our post. I'm just going to scale this down a little bit because we don't really need it full size. We need it a little bit smaller. And we'll say somewhere in there. Let's take a peek over here, and we can tell that we're definitely going to need to move this guy up just a little bit. There we go. Not bad. That's going to be in a good spot right in there. Alright, so with that, I think we're going to be able to copy that around. We'll wait until we get the door done before we copy the bamboo around. But we look good. We've got a little cross piece, we've got our posts and our ground. And next up, we're going to tackle this doorway.